offense to see what they can do this time. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Cameron Hayward. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
On second down, here's Brady. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down, and that is incomplete. Stevie Johnson was the intended receiver, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for New England. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. He'll look to set up his blockers. Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
He's going to wind up and air it out. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in-route accompanying it, what people call a depth.
He's got it with the 15. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Patriots. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They'll start the drive with Jamal Charles. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way.
Again, it's Charles. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Here's Ryan Allen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. Oh, he slipped right by him. And now the rookie's free. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Their big-bodied receiver with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here comes the Steelers defense making their way onto the field. They sure didn't get a whole lot of rest. They had the 3 and out, forced a punt, but that's returned for a touchdown, so they're on the field quickly.
So they're cheering. They're happy. They like what they saw.
They're like, oh, I got to go get my helmet. Right?
But it is a quick turnaround, so we'll see how they handle that on this possession.
They'll try and get the running game going with Jamal Charles. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Now, that result is no surprise. This team is bringing back memories of what? The 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those teams were so great against the run, they made you abandon any plans of doing that when you played against them.
Shotgun now for Brady. Over the middle, it's Amendola. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be third down. So here we go, a third down after the second down pass completion. From the gun, it's Brady. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Stevie Johnson, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up fourth down.
You ever notice that when Tom Brady does get hit and drop to the ground, there's some guys back to him pretty quickly to check on his health, aren't there?
That's exactly right. For as much as he throws, doesn't take a lot of square shots, but took one there.
He's really smart in the pocket, isn't he? Even out of the pocket. He understands where the pressure is coming from. He senses people. You're exactly right. Doesn't take too many direct ones. But that one had to hurt.
A chance for us to get a glance at this Patriots defense. And with this deficit, let's be honest, it's time for them to get a stop.
And partners, you understand very well from our time together and visiting with coaches, defensive coordinators tend to be a little more emotional, a little more high-strung than others.
They are.
I have a feeling that speech came out about taking a stand and bowing up in this possession.
Yeah, that's where this word pride comes out, right?
In a big way.
A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
They come up in an offset eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball this successfully in the fourth quarter, they're really excited because you can plan for a running game all you want, and want to press that advantage when you get it. But for the most part, it's a little bit of a surprise. And right now, they've got to keep that going. Want to continue to grind out the clock because it's definitely in their favor at this stage of the game. Can they close the game out and continue to do exactly what we just saw there, and that's run the football.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Shakes off the sack. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Their dangerous wide receiver with his third touchdown of the ball game, number 12 on the season. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Now Amendola. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Patriots offense now. They work their way back onto the field. They slot Gronkowski outright. Brady now on first down. And he's got his man on the out route. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down. And with this drop-off from last week, a guy of his caliber, he doesn't take this very well, does he?
No, not at all. And right now it's a matter of who wants to even be around him at this point and who can be around him, maybe to help him settle down or just to listen to him a little bit and let him vent so he can get it out of his system. It's just such a stark difference from what we saw last week.
Yeah.
You've mentioned many times before how impressed you are with his footwork, his decision-making, his reads. For me, his overall athleticism last week, escaping the pocket and creating big plays. We're not seeing that so far.
To throw, it's Brady. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. A pickup of 5 that time and a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
It's caught outright, Amendola. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll make it a second down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. I don't know about you, but I wanted to reach out of the booth and snatch that pass myself. That thing floated forever up there. I think that threw off the timing of the receiver. That's why he couldn't get his feet down even though he caught the ball.
Charles, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, me too.
For you. I wanted to see you reach out and catch that.
Yeah, you've heard about my hands, huh?
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a simple.
This is caught inside the 15. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.